Watching a smug professional destroy a multimillion-dollar corporation in less than a month is a rare kind of entertainment. Our new director stood at the front of the conference room holding a laser pointer like a weapon of mass destruction. He announced that my yearly operational flights across the Atlantic were officially terminated to save pennies. The entire room went dead silent as he grinned at his colorful presentation slides. For over 2 decades, I managed our international regulatory compliance with absolute perfection. This new supervisor arrived fresh out of business school with a degree and an aggressive attitude but zero actual industry knowledge. He viewed my essential oversight trips to Germany as luxury vacations rather than critical legal defenses. He had no understanding of the delicate human relationships that kept our freight moving through foreign ports. I spent 20 years building trust with strict European officials through midnight phone calls and flawless paperwork submissions. A single misplaced character on a shipping manifest could halt millions of dollars in merchandise at the border. My thorough understanding of foreign commerce codes was the only reason our supply chain survived massive global audits. The previous leadership team understood my value and always trusted my judgment without question. The new executive named Vance officially stripped away my authority during his very first staff meeting. He transferred the entire European renewal portfolio to his personal assistant named Chloe, who barely understood basic corporate taxes. I simply nodded and uttered a single word of acceptance because arguing with ignorance is a waste of energy. I quietly resolved to let him experience the exact consequences of his supreme arrogance. I immediately cancelled my upcoming flight to Europe and forwarded every single licensing archive directly to Chloe. I copied Vance on the message and politely requested that they track the strict regulatory timelines carefully. Neither of them bothered to reply to my warning, which confirmed my suspicion that disaster was inevitable. Vance continued to host useless morning workshops focused entirely on corporate efficiency and cutting operational weight. The office climate shifted drastically as the crucial summer deadline approached on the calendar. Vance frequently made passive-aggressive comments during team meetings regarding outdated employees who clung to legacy procedures. I refused to take the bait and instead began compiling a massive digital archive of every communication. I recorded every single message and saved every document onto a secure flash drive hidden under my desk. During the quarterly financial town hall, Vance proudly displayed a slide detailing his projected budget victories. He explicitly highlighted the elimination of the redundant German trip and claimed digital signatures were superior to traditional handshakes. The finance team laughed at his jokes while I watched the presentation in absolute silence from my cubicle. My private countdown timer indicated that the official registration deadline was only 2 weeks away. Foreign regulatory agencies do not issue friendly reminders when a corporation fails to submit paperwork. They simply enforce the law with absolute precision and levy catastrophic financial penalties until compliance is achieved. I watched Chloe post pictures from a tropical vacation on social media while the crucial date quietly passed. The system was now moving toward total collapse, and nobody at the executive level noticed the danger. The inevitable disaster finally struck on a Thursday morning when the global logistics channel completely stopped working. Our regional office in Poland sent a desperate alert stating that their internal databases were entirely locked down. The administrative portal in Germany had revoked our operational status due to the expired certificates. A massive shipment of temperature-sensitive goods was now stranded at the docks, accruing heavy fees. Vance panicked publicly and demanded that the information technology department repair what he assumed was a basic software glitch. The lead engineer calmly explained that our legal permission to operate on European soil had officially expired. Chloe sent me an urgent message asking for my immediate assistance to resolve the escalating disaster. I merely forwarded the original directive from Vance stating that his team handled all licensing responsibilities. The following morning, the chief executive officer called an emergency meeting in the main boardroom. He slammed a certified courier letter onto the table and revealed that the daily fines reached 100,000 euros. The total debt already exceeded 2 million euros, and our largest international clients were threatening legal action. Vance stammered nervously and tried to shift the blame to his young assistant in front of everyone. I spun my laptop around and presented a detailed chronological timeline of the entire administrative failure. Every single warning message and delegation directive was perfectly organized with official timestamps and electronic receipts. The chief executive officer looked at the evidence and immediately ordered Vance to surrender his security badge. The arrogant director walked out of the room in complete disgrace after destroying his own career. Later that afternoon, I was summoned to the corner office for a private conversation with the owner. The leader looked completely exhausted and pushed a generous new contract across the mahogany desk. The offer included a significant promotion and a massive salary increase if I agreed to salvage the operation. I smiled politely and placed my own pre-written resignation letter directly on top of his proposal. The executive expressed deep regret for the systemic failures but accepted my decision with a somber nod. I advised him to enjoy the upcoming vacation from corporate revenue before walking out the door forever. My colleagues watched in stunned silence as I packed my personal belongings and exited the building. I felt an incredible sense of freedom as I walked into the warm summer air outside. I utilized my personal savings to purchase a first-class ticket to Germany the very next morning. As the airplane soared high above the Atlantic Ocean, I sipped champagne and appreciated the beautiful view. The expensive corporate structure below was crumbling under the weight of massive regulatory penalties without my guidance. True competence cannot be replaced by corporate buzzwords, and sometimes the best response to arrogance is graceful silence.